First of all, unbelievable job by our defense. We talked about being able to finish games. They carried the way. They carried the torch today. To be able to get 4 turnovers, a couple of those ended up, they scored on one, and then we turned 2 of those into touchdowns from an offensive perspective. I was just so pleased with them. I thought Chris Shule and the defensive staff put together an outstanding plan, and really everybody on the defensive side had major contributions. But, for Jalen McCullough to get 2 picks, for Jacoby Durant to force a fumble that leads to the Cam Curl touchdown, and then also make a pick of his own. I thought we were rushing well. I thought we did, really defense carried the way. And, really proud of those guys. Offensively, made enough plays, but there's a lot of things that we can clean up. A lot of, mentals, a lot of mistakes on, things that, we expected from these guys. But I'm proud of the group to be able to get the result that we wanted, and we got an unbelievable challenge coming in here on Thursday night. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first part of your question.
Some changes in the personnel in the secondary the last couple of weeks. How do you think that unit really came together with so many big plays today?
I think it started against Green Bay. There was a couple plays that they made, but I thought it started against Green Bay. I think we're starting to find our identity, putting guys in the right spots, being able to take advantage of their skill sets. We got healthier, where you get some healthier bodies back on the back end. And so, we've scored 2 touchdowns in the last 2 games. We've forced some turnovers, been able to really apply a lot of pressure. I'm really pleased with the trajectory of where our defense is going right now.
How would you describe this defensive identity?
Well, I think there's multiple things that we can present. I think we've done a good job of earning some opportunities to be able to rush, and, we're forcing turnovers. But I think that still is, to be determined. But over the last couple weeks, I've been really pleased with them, Sarah.
What do you think's been the reason for the scoreless first quarters, including today, coming off a bye?
Execution. I think, and it's all of us in it together. But, there's things that we do throughout the course of the week, and, you expect it to be able to translate. And unfortunately, there's just, some lapses in terms of our ability to be able to translate some of the practice stuff to the game day execution. And we've got to continue to do a better job with that.
They always send extra pressure regardless of what Crosby is doing. Was that something you were referring to in terms of some of the lapses you expected?
Yeah, we were ready for that. There was, the one that they made the pick on, that was a great play by Spillane to be able to get his hands up. Matthew did a good job with the answer. I'd put that one's on me right there. But overall, there were some things that, a lot of credit to, Coach Graham and that defense. But there's some things that, collectively, it's all of us in it together. We want to see better execution and want to see better opportunities to be able to execute. So it's coaches and players alike.
Do you expect Kupp?
I do. Yeah, I expect them back.
Sean, in a league that's so focused on offense to win games, what's it like to win defensively?
No, it's great. I was really pleased with those guys. I think I want to see us continue to play quality football in all 3 phases. But you don't take for granted how hard it is to be able to get wins in this league, no matter who the opponent is. The Raiders did a great job of making it as difficult as possible, but defense certainly carried the torch today. I was really pleased with them.
Coach, up until this point, the back end has been much maligned. What does it do for the psyche of the secondary and the defense overall with the performance like today?
Yeah, I don't think those guys really listen to that. And I think, there's, as the season goes, you got to say, all right, where am I? What's the ability to be able to handle the moments? And I think our guys understand they've played quality football over the last few weeks, and they know that. I don't think they're too worried about the narratives. Aubrey Pleasant does a great job leading those guys on the back end. And I think it's shown with the way that they've played, the way they've approached practice. And then ultimately it did translate in a big way to the game today.
So talking about the big backfield, defensive backfield, the player Quentin Lake really stood out today.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was all over the place. His communication, his ownership, his command. What a big-time play he made on Bowers down in the tight red area on the 4-yard line on 3rd down to force it to a 4th down. Then they end up jumping off sides, and they decide to kick the field goal. So defense made stop after stop, and Quentin Lake was certainly one of the guys leading the way today. Really happy for Q.
Coach, you talked about the defense playing as well, but you do have a great defense coming in Minnesota Thursday night, blitz-happy team. Tutu Atwell seems to be kind of really relaxed now as a pro, falling to his own. What are some of the plans to get him more involved to go against that blitz Thursday night?
Yeah, I don't know yet, but I do know that he's done a good job. We had a chance to be able to end the game, on the little screen that we threw to him. Got to be able to finish some of those blocks and shouldn't have had to put our defense back out on the field. Tutu's done some really nice things, but I'm looking forward to seeing all of us, continue to do a better job, particularly on the offensive side.
Sean, obviously the injuries, that's the main caveat for the start to your season on offense, but are you concerned about the execution level this far in? Every week it seems, you're kind of standing up there talking about things that are mistakes that are made, execution.
Yeah, I think, it's a fair question, and ultimately we're all in this together. We have to do a better job, and I'm not going to make any excuses about that.
Coach, short week. Is there a different process going through this game, looking ahead, knowing what we have to do, and you don't want to have, different situations? You want to be as prepared as possible?
Yeah, everything's accelerated. Our players are starting their recovery process, that typically occurs. There's always a little bit of that after the games, but this is like Monday. So everything is accelerated when you're talking about taking basically what's normally 7 days into 4 days. We have to do a good job.
About the game itself, though, within the game, are you thinking ahead a little bit? Like, I don't want to do this because it might affect Thursday night, that kind of a thing?
No, nothing like that. You have to be in the moment, so we've got to be able to handle our business. I think the football gods would frown on that.
Last one, guys. How close was Cooper to going today, and what was the...
It was close, but ultimately, you guys heard me talk about it throughout the course of the week. It was about return to performance, not necessarily return to play, and hopefully Thursday will represent that for us.